I am going to talk to you about CER basics. All right, so CER is our writing tool per se. It probably helps set up our format, it probably helps set up our organization, but really it is just the simple tool to help our kids organize their thoughts. So when we talk about CER, it really is an acronym. And each one of these letters represents a part of that tool. So really what we're talking about is that anytime you are asked a question that you have to answer, you are formulating an argument or an opinion response. So if I ask you what your favorite food is, if I ask you who was the most influential person in your life, if I ask you about the best summer ever, or if I ask you to prove why Atticus is a good or bad parent, you're going to use this format no matter what, whether it's in an verbal interchange, whether it's in a written interchange, whether it's a paragraph, whether it's a multi-paragraph. So we're going to go over these simple terms today. So basics, right? Keeping it simple. So C stands for claim. So the claim is really just your answer. If I ask you what your favorite food is, your answer would be shrimp and grits. If I ask you who is one of the most influential people in your life, you might say your Grandma Jeannie. If you what is your favorite holiday, you might say Halloween. If I ask you to prove that Atticus is a good parent, then your claim may be Atticus is a good parent because. All right. E then is evidence. And evidence is really where you prove your answer. Now, you can prove your answer in a couple of different ways. You can do this with your life experience. If I ask you what your favorite food is, you're not going to tell me your favorite food is shrimp and grits because you've read all these books about shrimp and grits. You're going to tell me that shrimp and grits is your favorite food because you've eaten a lot of shrimp and grits. But if I ask you a question about what the theme is of The Outsiders, you may give me an answer for that, but you have to prove it with evidence from the book. And this can be taken from the text. So there are two ways that you can get evidence. And then finally, the last part, and probably the part that everybody really may struggle with, though I think it's because we tend to repeat the claim, and we'll talk a little bit more about that, is the R. And R stands for reasoning. And reasoning is where you tell or you explain how or why your evidence proves your claim. So now what we're going to do is we're going to practice some of these.